Driver paid tolls in pennies. I made them wait while I counted. This is on r/PettyRevenge. I was working for the toll authority before they got rid of them for Easy Pass. This guy comes through with a toll for about $5. He raised his cupped hands up towards me, full of pennies and nickels. Once I took them, he said, "Here you go, enjoy counting," while laughing to himself. So I told him, "Enjoy waiting right here until I'm done counting. Otherwise, I'll call the state troopers to bring you back." He pouted the entire time while I stacked pennies and accidentally knocked them over, having to start again a couple of times. He was over by 20 cents. I gave it back to him and said, "Here's your change. Aren't you glad you waited?" Edit. For those worried about people behind this guy, it was a slow day and no one was waiting but him. I don't think that it matters if anybody was waiting. It's petty revenge, and I don't mind it, honestly. Paying a toll in pennies is funny. It's not the person's that you're paying's fault that you got charged a toll, or that you even went on the toll road without paying, whatever. But you should expect to have to wait if you bring pennies. That should be no surprise to anybody. So, I don't know. It's funny. The worker kind of got their revenge on this guy's revenge. So I think that all is well. The world can continue to spin. Next, we got, will I be the a-hole? This one's a little inappropriate if you got kids in the room. Will I be the a-hole if I got a vibrator? I, 25 female, and my boyfriend, 27 male, have had a rocky sex life. I do not feel any pleasure whatsoever from PIV. I don't know what that is. Oh, I understand now. You should get it. PNV. My boyfriend knows this, but we have intercourse anyway. I just lie there, let him do his thing, then go back to whatever I was doing. I recently suggested getting a vibrator or trying to find my G-spot, but he says that he doesn't want anything to make me feel good except him. I would never say this to his face, but he doesn't make me feel good anyway. I told him that finding my G-spot would be making me feel pleasure, but he said no for whatever reason. It's really getting on my nerves. I don't want to have intercourse just for him to get off. He refuses to even rub my clit at all. I'm thinking about just getting a vibrator and masturbating, so will I be the a-hole if I get a vibrator? No, absolutely not. If he's not going to listen, then dump his ass. If you don't want to do that, then just do what you want to do. Get the vibrator and maybe try and introduce it. But if he's not willing to sit down and talk, then he's probably not worth having a committed relationship with. You got to be open to working with your partner, and he's not open to that at all. You also need to be honest with him and let him know that you need more out of him in the bedroom. That needs to happen as well. He can't, I guess, make a full judgment without all of the information, even though he's clearly being an asshole by just denying it all outright together. But it sounds like maybe you're being a little too lenient in the conversation as well. So maybe be a little more assertive. Tell him this is what needs to happen, and if he's going to be an asshole about it, then you're going to find somebody else. That's just my opinion. Somebody said, dump your boyfriend, get a vibrator, learn for yourself the best ways for you to get off. Find a man who is willing to please you and not just himself, in addition to be a good partner in other supportive ways. There you go. 3A, find your G-spot so you can give the next guy directions to it. The Council of Men has dedicated extensive amounts of resources to finding this ourselves. So far, we have deducted that it is somewhere in the vagina. If we just ask for directions, we might get there more efficiently. Heresy! This is great. I love Reddit, man. Reddit's out of control. All right, next we got I, 30 male, have the biggest crush on my coworker, 35 female, and I can't stand it. This is from TrueOffMyChest. The last one was from Am I the Asshole? I've worked with this woman for about 4 years. We've traveled together on business several times. I've always been a pretty shy guy, but am especially cautious when socializing with women I work with. I try to be myself, but not act in a manner such that they could feel uncomfortable. Basically, I'm afraid of flirting because I want to be a good human being and also keep my job. Also, you don't need to flirt to be friends with somebody. I don't know. That needs to not be a part of existing around the opposite sex if you're heterosexual. When I'm with this woman, it's pretty chill. We chat about our travels and places we want to go. She occasionally tells me very personal things. One time, she randomly told me she had an IUD after we were just sitting in silence for a few seconds. That is pretty random. Anyway, I think she's great. She's very smart and successful. We both make 140K plus at basically the same job. She owns her own house, but I'm not quite there yet. She's funny, cute, and very fashionable. The little things, like the way she paints her nails neat like a professional does them for her on the daily, and wears her hair, are so unique and attractive. Sometimes these things sometimes things feel fantasy-like when we're traveling together. We might both reach for the temperature controls in the car at the same time because the AC is too cold and touch hands. We say the same things at the same time and have the same thoughts when a random event happens in front of us. Sometimes she would say interesting things like, if it was appropriate, I'd invite you to stay at my house because the office is far for me and close for her. Or if I talked about moving, she'd get excited and joke that I could be her neighbor. I always wondered if she was attracted to me, but she shows mixed signals. She's a very smart woman, so it's possible she thinks the same way I do and doesn't want to jeopardize her career. She's had boyfriends on and off, and I'm not even sure what her current status is. I feel like in an alternate reality, we would be the perfect couple, but in this reality, we'll just be coworkers who live a couple hours apart. It's frustrating. I've never been sexually active before because I'm waiting for someone who electrifies me as much as she does to truly desire me and to be in the right situation for it. It's hard to find. TLDR, just a dumb man crushing on a coworker. Update, I don't think I can ask her out. Messaged her at work today to ask how things have been, and the conversation felt one-sided. I can't deal with the humiliation, embarrassment, and fear of her getting freaked out by me doing so. I mean, you definitely, unfortunately, in one of these scenarios like this, you have to remain professional, I think. Honestly, if she ever asks you out, then you could probably take it from there. But in this dynamic, in this world, as the man, I think you have to wait for the woman to make the first move. Somebody said, do you have any career options that would make you work less with her? Last time I had a crush on a coworker, I waited until one of us quit, changed jobs, and then asked her out in our last week together. I think that's a safe method. The original poster said that could be possible in the future. We've both moved to primarily working remotely, so I don't see her in person as often. The thing is, we're both great at our jobs, and it pays awesome too. Hard to see either one of us wanting to leave unless one of us fires in 5 to 10 years. Somebody said, tell her to let you know when she's going to the office so you can also go and link up for drinks after. Keep doing that and see if it leads anywhere respectfully. That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. Best way to get over a crush is to ask them questions about social issues. That's pretty good. That's a good one. Those are not mixed signals. I have an IUD is pretty fucking bold. Generally only talked about in a few instances between women, as in what kind of birth control do you use? 2, a new OBGYN, as in I'm new to your practice. I currently use an IUD for birth control. And 3, so I'm down to fuck, and if you're worried, I have an IUD. If you are not managed by the same person and you mostly work from home, ask her out. Okay. That's from the person who is named Love Being an Asshole. I don't disagree with that. I'm Reverse Giraffe said yes and no. My coworker of about a month at the time told me she got an IUD in the other day and was still sore. She has a boyfriend of like 7 years. I highly doubt she's down to fuck. I'm not her OB, and I'm a dude. I just saw her wince in pain and asked if she was okay. She said yes. She's just sore from getting an IUD the day before. Cake Sluts said, I've told like 3 of my male friends that I have an IUD. I've never thought of it as sexual. I wouldn't talk about it in the workplace, and I don't know why one would bring it up with no context, but there is nothing sexy at all about IUD insertion, removal, and maintenance checkups. Context is everything, though. It's still an incredibly odd way to hit on someone. That is pretty random. That is pretty random. And that's the equivalent of a dude being like, "I have condoms," like the way that he described it, which comes off pretty strange. Condoms are a little bit different, though. I don't know. It's a strange situation. I wish the guy best of luck. I guess I'll be checking to see if there's any updates on this ever in the future. It does say that it's been deleted though, which is very interesting. I wonder why. Okay, next, this one's kind of creepy. This is another true off my chest. Teeth belonging to no one in my laundry. Around 2 weeks ago, I was doing my laundry as usual, and I found this thing in the washing machine. It looks like a tooth slash crown. There's some glue at the bottom. I asked my flatmate if she lost a tooth because I know I didn't, and even my cousin who was staying over at the time, but no, it's neither of theirs. We live in a rental flat, but this is a brand new washing machine we got in 2023. No previous owners, so it can't be from the previous tenants or owners, or our washing machine is in the kitchen in our flat and not a communal washing machine. So I'm honestly just puzzled and slightly spooked. Does anyone have any ideas on where they could be coming from? Do I need to sage an entire flat and move out? Oh man, possibly from the manufacturer, but twice? Two separate teeth? How would they even get there? Sorry for asking too many questions. I'm just spooked about their origin. Where in your post did you mention the second one? They made a more recent post. They even put a picture of the molar. A molar? Oh, where's the second one? I purchased fake teeth for a craft project. They looked exactly like this. The black bit on the back is from the paper they are glued to. Okay. I'm certain that's what these are. Somebody said thank you. Could be gum. Okay, I guess I would have to find the updated post. That is creepy. Gosh, that's bright. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Jeez. Oh my gosh, there's so many pop-ups. This is the worst website ever. Very interesting. All right, get out of here. I don't know. So maybe this is all just set up as a way to farm karma on Reddit. That seems like a lot of effort. Okay, next. Another true off my chest. I'm a rent man, and I think I have a crush on my client. Warning, slightly sexually explicit, probably not safe for work. So this is my warning to you as well. I don't really know how to say any of this, but I know I need to write it somewhere. I'll probably delete this at some point after. I'm 27, male, and I'm a rent man. Another term for what I do is male escort, but I live in a small, sleepy town, and we just don't call ourselves escorts. I decided to get into this because I needed some money to help me finish my degree. I'm also in good shape, so I thought it would be an easy side hustle. I didn't/don't have a partner, and I haven't been interested in dating. Business is generally very slow. When I first started, I only had one client who I would visit every week. After that, she moved away, and I had two more clients that I would see periodically. It was always a very clinical and mechanical experience. Get in, do what needs to be done, get out. Really? That's odd. Things were quiet for about a year and a half. I wasn't really providing services anymore, but a few months ago, I got a message on my profile from a lady who was interested in my services. She was just reaching out, asking how it works. We spoke for a bit, and we decided to meet up. My services are customizable, and she selected a variation of the boyfriend experience. I went to her house, and I was surprised. She had a really nice place in a rich neighborhood. I'm sure this might not be out of the ordinary for other male escorts, but my previous clients weren't situated in rich neighborhoods. I didn't grow up rich. She was very welcoming. She was a few years older than me. She seemed to have a successful career. We sat in the living room and just talked. She told me that she had sex for her whole she's had sex for her whole adult life. and she's enjoyed it for the most part, but she's had some kind of sexual awakening recently, and she's looking for someone to explore this with. I'm assuming reawakening. She said she doesn't even care if we didn't have sex that night. She wanted to talk to make sure that we would be a good fit for what she had in mind and if I was okay with it. That was also a first for me. My previous clients didn't really care what I was okay with. Anyway, lots has happened since then. I see her maybe once every 2 weeks, and it's always an incredible experience. I can't explain it. Sometimes we have sex, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we eat pizza and watch movies. Sometimes we drink and have sex. It's so passionate. Sometimes it's primal. Sometimes it's lazy and intense. It's not the mechanical sex that I'm used to. She truly turns me on. She likes it when I'm satisfied. Okay, that's good. So she's a human. Sometimes we just talk and nothing else. I've opened up to her about my life. She pays me every time. That's crazy. I've even started insisting that she doesn't need to, but she believes in me and my future and wants to support me in finishing my degree. The problem is, I no longer see this as a professional relationship. I really like her, and she seems to really care about me as a person. We know so much about each other, but I feel so weird to say that we're friends. She pays me for my time, so are we really friends? And sometimes I let my mind wander. What if we were more? She's quite an incredible woman, and we've had many deep conversations. She's been through a lot. One of the topics that came up was her previous relationships, because I was wondering why she would approach a service instead of exploring this with perhaps a romantic partner. And I guess, long story short, she was in a relationship with a man who absolutely destroyed her. She no longer trusts people enough to share her life with. She wants to be alone forever, but she desperately wants to explore her sexual side. I guess that's where I come in. By the way, I know who this man is. It's a small town. Fuck you for what you did. You had such a great woman. What's wrong with you? I haven't heard from her in a while, and I desperately want to reach out to her. I'm trying not to lose myself in this situation. I keep telling myself she's just my client and nothing more. This is just me doing my job, but I know that I feel a certain way. Unfortunately, I don't think she'll ever see me as anything more. Damn. Am I too innocent for this world? I thought rent man was a childish way of saying landlord. That's what I thought too. Um, Haha, it might be. I refer to myself as such because the very first platform I was part of was called Rent Man. That's funny. And most other men in the area that offered this kind of service was on the platform, but I might have to be careful with the term going forward. I guess the small town part, I don't buy the small town thing. I don't think he knows what a small town is. If there's a bunch of people, a bunch of male escorts in town, it's not a small town. I'll tell you that much, especially if they're making money. Um, it sounds like she just wanted to pay somebody for sex and a boyfriend. She wanted to pay for a boyfriend for a short period of time. Maybe she has the same feelings. You'll never be able to know unless she gets back a hold of you and tells you. But it genuinely, it just sounds like a wealthy older woman who wanted to pay for companionship. And there's nothing wrong with that. And unfortunately, you, in the position that you're in, have to respect that. You can probably try to tell her the way that you feel, but that's might screw it all up. No idea. Especially if you haven't heard from her in a while. I genuinely have no advice for this scenario. I've been out of the dating game for too long. Also have zero experience with being a rent man. So I'm at a loss. But best of luck. I hope it works out. Another PettyRevenge. This one I was excited about when I read the title. Want to unfairly grade my students? Let's see what the school board thinks. Many years ago, in my senior year of high school, I was placed in English class with my close friend. We'll call him Jack, which I was extremely excited about. The only issue was our teacher, we'll call her Mrs. Smith, was known for being absolutely horrible and targeting students that she didn't like. A few weeks into the class, Jack and I started to realize that he was getting lower grades on assignments where our work was practically identical. Since he was such a close friend, this really pissed me off, especially because it was obvious that Mrs. Smith wasn't even reading my assignments. I'd consistently get 100%, while Jack's grades would come back anywhere from 60 to 80% for no apparent reason. I even tried to edit and revise his work before submitting it, thinking that maybe my teacher just liked my writing style compared to him. This, of course, changed nothing and cemented the fact that she gave him worse grades solely because she didn't like him. Not even kidding. I had teachers like this in high school. It was fucked up. This continued to happen throughout the entire semester, and at this point, I've had over 100% in the class while Jack had somewhere around a C minus. Since I was already guaranteed an A, I decided to do something pretty stupid in hindsight, but Jack and I still laugh about it to this day. One of our last assignments was to write a report on a movie of our own choosing, but instead of doing that, I decided to write the lyrics of First Day Out by T. Grizzly repeatedly until I hit the 4-page requirement for the assignment. If you're unfamiliar with the song, it's extremely vulgar and had no place in an academic environment. Unsurprisingly, when we got our assignments back, I received an A+ once again while Jack got a B-. The next day, Jack and I went to the principal's office and I presented our grades, giving concrete proof that Mrs. Smith unfairly graded students. The principal was obviously shocked and said that they would look into it. I was also told not to turn something vulgar like that in again, but that's besides the point. A few weeks later, the semester was wrapping up, and we still hadn't heard anything about Mrs. Smith until my graduation counselor informed me that the school board had reviewed my assignment and were moving forward with firing her. Hell yeah. Apparently, this was one of many complaints she had received over the years, and my assignment was the straw that broke the camel's back. The next semester, Mrs. Smith had been replaced with a substitute teacher, and to my knowledge, she no longer works at the school. Good. That lady should not be allowed to have a job in education ever again. Imagine fucking up a student's entire future, because you can fuck up somebody's future by fucking up their grades just for some petty bullshit. You don't deserve to be an educator, and you should probably be in jail. Shame on you. And good for that substitute teacher. I hope they got a permanent position, and I hope that they were way better than Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith sounds like a stupid cunt. Miserable bitch. And I'm glad she's gone. I hope Jack's grades in the class went up to at least a B. I hope they modified his grades to reflect the unfair shit that he had to go through, because that's fucked up. Fortunately, it didn't. His movie summary assignments were regraded to an A. Okay. And the rest of his assignments were fairly graded, but there was no real way to prove that the other assignments were graded incorrectly, which is kind of unfair in my opinion. Yeah, no, that's not okay. I think somebody needs to approach the school board about that. That's totally not okay. That's ridiculous. All right, next. Last story, True Off My Chest. This is a long one, so bear with me. There's also an update on this one. This is kind of a palate cleanser for the whole wave of crap that we just went through. I started washing and putting away my roommate's favorite mug whenever she uses it. When she caught me, I lied about why. I, 30 male, share an apartment with my friend, 30 female. I'll call her Gwen. Gwen has a lot of mugs, more than will fit in the cupboard all at once. She rotates them seasonally. She loves swapping them out. I asked why, and she says it's like getting new mugs every couple months. But there are 2 mugs in her collection that never leave the kitchen. They are rarely in the cupboard because the second they are washed, she uses them again. We have a dishwasher, but it's broken. Part of our chore division is that we each take care of our own dishes. The thing is, I know she doesn't like doing her dishes. It's a sensory thing, but she insisted that we do our own dishes. I thought this was pretty fair. I also know that Gwen's most favorite is her Spider-Man mug. She's never told me that. I can just tell because a Spider-Man mug gets picked before any of the others when it's clean. I know this because I see it in the sink every day for her to wash before bed with her other dishes from the day. There were times that her dishes sat for a couple of days before she could force herself to work through the sensory issues and get them done. It never got to the point of smelling bad, and she apologized every time for any dishes she left overnight. I truly did not mind when that happened. I understand the sensory issues, and I'm proud of her for keeping on top of it as much as she was. Now comes the part I need to get off my chest. In the background info was important, I promise. Every time Gwen realizes she can use her Superman mug or Spider-Man mug, she dances an adorable happy dance while making her tea for the morning. She doesn't seem to realize she's dancing or doesn't realize I notice her dancing. Either way, it's my favorite part of the day when I'm getting ready for work and she dances a happy dance while getting her breakfast because she gets to use her Spider-Man mug every single morning. This dude, these are run-on sentences like crazy. It seriously cheers her up, and she's been a lot more positive throughout the day since I started doing this. Gwen found me washing her dishes last week. I had been doing them for a while, but this was, I mean, she would notice, wouldn't she? Her dirty dishes are just disappearing. I had been doing them for a while, but this was the first time she walked in and caught me bubble-handed washing her Spider-Man mug. Not gonna lie, I panicked. She thanked me for helping her, and then asked why I started to do her dishes too. She even asked if I was annoyed by her dishes when she left them. This was absolutely not the case, but I couldn't tell her I watch her happy dances. That's creepy, right? But it's so cute and makes me so happy to see her so happy. If she knew I watched her dance, she would feel self-conscious and stop doing them. She's pretty shy about stuff like that. She won't sing in front of anyone, but singing is one of her favorite things to do, and I've caught her singing along to her music before she realizes I'm home. More than she realizes. I also pretend not to notice when that happens. She has a really pretty voice, so yeah, I couldn't tell her why I'm really doing her dishes, or I would lose my favorite part of my day. I told her I like to get mine done every night. It's something my mom always told me to do. I was already there, so it wasn't a big deal to do hers too. It saves water, and she does a few of the household chores that I hate because she likes them, so I don't mind doing this one tiny extra chore that she doesn't like. I feel like I was pretty obviously not telling the truth, but I think she believed me, lol. She didn't tell me to stop, and she hasn't brought it up since she had caught me. So I still get to see her happy dances when she goes in the kitchen and sees her Spider-Man mug ready for her to start the day. TLDR. Oh gosh, this is the TLDR. I wash my roommate's favorite mug every night to give her something to look forward to in the morning. She does a little happy dance every time she uses her mug, and it makes me happy to see her happy. All right, I'm going to take a sip. I got to lubricate. Edit 1. All right, I'm headed to bed. Thank you all for your comments. To clarify, we are just friends. We are roommates now. But we were friends first. Anyways, it's been fun, but it's 5 a.m. and I have an appointment at 10 a.m. This should be fun. Good night. Edit 2, it's now 9 a.m. I just woke up to so many notifications. Jesus H. Christ, what happened while I was napping? Thank you everyone for your responses. I did not expect my habit that I thought would be seen as weird or creepy to get so much attention. I'm so glad so many of you got a smile from my post. As you can tell, I like to give people a reason to smile. I hope you all have an awesome day. Edit 3, guys, she found the fucking post. Scatter. No, for real, she commented on this post. She made an account specifically to comment how did this happen and how did it happen so goddamn fast. I didn't think she was on Reddit. She's always on YouTube watching video games or listening to stories. She used a picture of the mug as the profile pic. I'm panicking. I'll update when I'm brave enough to go out to the kitchen. I can hear her cooking. Edit 4, so I linked a picture with an update and the automod did not like, so I removed the link, but the update is still on my profile for anyone interested. Okay, then here's the update. Holy crap. Update. I started washing and putting away my roommate's favorite mug whenever she uses it. When she caught me, I lied about why. Good morning, y'all. A couple days ago, I made a post at 3 in the morning to confess to doing my roommate's dishes because I secretly love to watch her do the happy dance when she sees her favorite mug is clean for her to use again. That post changed our lives. Excuse me. And I'm only being a little dramatic by saying that. I gotta say, thanks to everyone who upvoted and commented on my original post. I'm still shook at just how many people read about me and my mug happy best friend. The amount of people saying my post made them smile or reminded them of their own friendships or significant others has kept me smiling for days. I'm kind of into making people happy, if that wasn't already obvious. So the fact that so many people had even a moment of positivity because of me has been awesome. When I made the original post, it was because I just wanted to tell someone about the mug dancing, but I knew Gwen wouldn't like it if I told anyone we knew. So I came to Reddit to shout to the void, and oh boy, did the void shout back. There were so many comments asking if I really thought we were just friends, and I'll be honest, when I made the post, we absolutely were just friends. We never talked we had never talked about being more than just friends, and I was happy being friends because we have an amazing friendship. I hadn't really thought about there being a possibility for more because dating was always something I planned to do when I had my life together or when I had more money. I never let myself consider what I was missing out on by waiting for the right time. Her finding my post opened up the chance for Gwen and I to talk about things that we hadn't before, and over breakfast that morning, we found where we stood with each other and what we thought things could look like moving forward, depending on what we both agreed was the best course. That was the longest sentence I think I've ever seen in my life. This is awesome, though. This is cool. It's a positive story. We didn't make any solid plans or decisions, and didn't want to rush into something that would ruin the good we already had going for us. But I'll admit I was hoping for a specific outcome. There was one comment on that first post that had really caught my attention. To paraphrase, they told me to think about how I would feel if someone else got to see Gwen do her happy dance instead of me, and it hit me so hard. I didn't mind the idea of someone else seeing her so happy. I just don't know if anyone she dates would notice what I did and decide to do what I did. What if they didn't care or didn't think it was that important or any of the other things I do to make her laugh or smile? I really didn't like the thought of not being there to make sure she has that extra reason to smile in the morning. Gwen wants me to admit that I'm a sappy moron because I teared up writing this. I'm a sensitive man in in touch with my emotions, and so you love it, so shut it, you. Okay, they're flirting with each other via the post. That's cute. To all the people saying it's possible for platonic relationships to be like ours, you are absolutely correct. Our friend group is very open with physical and verbal affection, and we help each other all time with big and small things. We all say I love you to each other. It's just normal communication for us as a group, not just between Gwen and I. Honestly, if I hadn't made my original post, I'm not sure when or if we would have gotten to the point we are now. Maybe we would have continued as we were, and that would have been just as happy of an outcome, just a different one, like a choose your own adventure with multiple options for a good resolution. My brain is melting. There's so many words. Which brings me to the actual update. Gwen and I agreed we wanted to try dating. Yay! That's exciting. We aren't putting a new label on our relationship yet, but our first date is next week. I'm making it all surprise. Gwen helped write this post and will be reading the comments, so I can't give any details, but it's going to be the best first date she has ever been on, or I'll eat my candy corn patterned socks. I think she might be the one for me, and I'm going to take every chance I can to make sure she thinks the same about me. Y'all are the best, and we love you. Do something kind for your loved ones, for us, and everyone can and should find something to happy dance about. It makes life more fun. Love, Gwen and Peter. The Spider-Man theme is cute. That's adorable. I'm so happy for you guys. Sounds like you're going to be amazing together. We're super excited too. Okay, it's sappy. Um, I literally married my best friend. We were stationed together in the Navy, and we're a lot like y'all. We've been married over 20 years now. Your story made me smile. I am also in a relationship with my best friend. We've been together for over 14 years. That was a really, really cute story. Super fun way to end it. It was very long, so I appreciate you guys for bearing with me. Smash the like button on your way out, and I'll see y'all next time. Good night.